Hi students, and welcome to today's live IELTS class. My name is Adrian and I'm streaming to you from beautiful Victoria here in Western Canada. I hope all of you have had an awesome week and I hope you're looking forward to a fantastic weekend. Students, in this members chat class, we are looking at IELTS writing task 2 about whether or not universities are needed for many jobs and why that is. This IELTS writing lesson, everybody, is brought to you by aehelp.com for academic IELTS. Visit us there. For general IELTS, check us out at gieltshelp.com. These are the websites that we use to power these live classes. For the academic IELTS, look for this website here with the blue background. And to join the premium version, click this big red button that's just right above my head there. It's a one-time payment for lifetime access. We're an IDP affiliate. We are a British Council partner, and we are an IELTS test registration center. For the general IELTS, check out gieltshelp.com with the green background. Again, click this big red button here. It's just right above my head. It is a one-time payment for lifetime access. It does not cost a lot of money, and you can use this code MASTER9 for an additional 10% discount upon checkout. The price is different in different countries. We try to make it available to as many people as possible so we can help you succeed on your next test. The apps that link to the websites are Academic IELTS Help for aehelp.com and General IELTS Help for gieltshelp.com. The websites will help you to learn on the go. All right, students, IELTS writing task 2. It's very, very similar for the general IELTS as it is for the academic IELTS. We have lots of free blogs and sample essays for many, many different kinds of questions on the websites. Check out this blog. This one is on a different topic. It's a task 2 about job training. You can take a look at that when you have a minute in the day. All right, welcome, Anna, Fwang, Redexar. Nice to see so many of our members in the class, Prasanta. And I can see many of you are saying you're ready to learn. That is fantastic. Students, you can get our courses through YouTube, through Shopify as well by clicking on the shopping and checking out through Shopify. If you do that, we need to activate your accounts. So send us an email to adrian@aehelp.com or admin@aehelp.com and we will activate your account that way. All right, everybody, right now it is task 2 writing, and then after this class in about 2 hours we'll have listening part 3 and part 4. That's going to be from one of the practice exams on the website. And then tomorrow we'll have speaking part 2 and speaking part 3 for everyone. Again, lots of videos here on YouTube for you to improve for your IELTS exam. Check them out. This is our most recent release. It's got 140,000 views in less than a week, so people definitely seem to like it. It gives you some tips and strategies for the speaking section from the perspective of effective communication among youth. So check that out when you have a chance. It's a great little video. Okay, let's take a look at the writing task 2 question for today, everybody. Now, the very, very first step when you get to the writing section, task 1, read the question carefully. Same with task 2, read the question carefully. There are different types of questions. You need to make sure that you answer the question, okay? Don't just follow a simple template. Instead, for those high band scores like band 7, band 8, band 9, you have to present good, persuasive essay structure. Anybody know what that means, persuasive essay? It is one of the 4 main types of writing. There are basically 4 categories of writing: descriptive, narrative, expository, and persuasive. Those are the 4 domains of literature. And persuasive essays are extremely common in university, in the workplace, so it's no surprise that IELTS targets this type of writing for task 2. It's not by accident that they target this type of writing. Most of your essays in university will be persuasive essays, regardless of your major, whether you're doing computer science, art history, architecture. It doesn't really matter. A lot of your essays will be persuasive type essays. Anybody know what that means, a persuasive essay? If you don't, okay, you need to learn that. So you have to have the foundations of writing skills going into universities in many countries like the UK and Canada. And so you need to know this kind of foundation, the basics of writing. If not for the IELTS, you'll have to learn it very quickly when you get to university. Again, on the website, everybody, when you do join the premium package, you'll have your My Student account. There you will have your full interactive course, among many other features. And then you'll have a writing section. And in the writing section, you're going to have your writing lessons. And in your writing lessons, you'll have the structure and the different types of essays and examples, and it will walk you through the basics of essay writing, okay, including understanding what a persuasive essay is. A persuasive essay is basically writing that seeks to convince. Convince, of course, the word persuade, the reader of an idea or a perspective, right? So people call this argument essays. They're not actually argument essays. You're not actually arguing necessarily. There are different kinds of persuasive essays. Excuse me. So really what you're looking at here is a persuasive essay. Yeah, so Fuang says it's a type of essay where the writer provides explanations, examples to convince the main topic. Okay. Now, the ancient Greeks, yes, we're going that far in history. The ancient Greeks recognized very early on that the development of human society is founded in the art of rhetoric. Now you're probably thinking, like, what? Why is Adrian going back thousands of years in human history? So the ancient Greeks, especially the ancient Greek philosophers, philosophy is the father of science, right? Recognized that human development is founded or based in rhetoric. Rhetoric is the art of discourse and convincing the public of ideas. And the ancient Greeks very, very cleverly broke this into basically 3 kinds of strategies. Anybody know what that is? So what are the 3 strategies of rhetoric? And it's important to know this. It helps you understand the world around you, and of course it helps you to write better essays. So if you're like, why is Adrian talking about the ancient Greeks and rhetoric? Well, I'm talking about that because they really did do a good job of figuring out how we convince our audience. Okay? So what are the 3 tools of rhetoric? What are the 3 ways or the 3 perspectives of, according to the ancient Greeks, of convincing your audience. And it's not, you don't just use one to be effective, you're often using all three, right? So what are they? Here, I'll give you one, and then maybe some of you will be like, oh yeah, I remember this from high school. I remember this from some of my university classes. Very good, Fuang. Look at Fuang, so smart. Paying attention. Ethos, pathos, logos. And even though here we are thousands of years later, it's still these three. So the ancient Greek philosophers have stood the test of time. It's ethos, pathos, logos. Okay? What does that mean? Logos means logic. Okay? So convincing through facts. Right? Pathos is emotions. Convincing through emotions. Okay? And ethos is authority or expert opinion. Convincing through a position of expertise or position of experts, we can say. So where does this come into play in IELTS writing task 2, you're wondering? You're like, okay, Adrian, so fine. What are you talking about there? So remember these when you are explaining and giving examples in your task 2 writing. Okay, logos, pathos, and ethos. Now in university, in science, which one do you think is the most important? Logos, pathos, or ethos? Which one do people usually respect or accept the most, meaning that you will be able to convince them, right? And we're going to use these today. Prasanta says logic, logos, absolutely. So academics need logos. They don't care so much about who you are or how emotional you are. It needs logos. But the general public is often very well convinced through pathos and ethos as well. Okay, so keep those in mind. Let's take a look at the question. Read it carefully. We'll develop our ideas. We'll write the essay. We'll apply these different Greek perspectives. I shouldn't say Greek. We all do it these days. And we'll move along nicely for that high band essay. Here we go. So IELTS task 2. You should spend about 40 minutes on this task. Definitely spend 40 minutes, everybody, on task 2. Okay? An increasing number of jobs worldwide do not regard university degrees as a requirement for employment. What do you think is the cause of this trend, and do you think this is a positive development? Include examples and explanations from your own experience, right? At least 250 words. All right, whether you are in the actual IELTS exam or practicing at home, the first step you should always take is paraphrase the question. So write the question in your own words. To make sure that you understand it, and also to start thinking about good vocabulary for the essay, okay? Now, this is not your introduction. If you're using this for your introduction, you might not get a very good band score. If you're just paraphrasing the essay, a lot of teachers, a lot of IELTS programs tell you to do that. It's considered lower level writing in many situations, so you're only really aiming at a band 6 or 6.5 when you're doing that. However, paraphrasing does give you good ideas, does help you understand, so it is a good idea to do that, okay? So it's smart to do that. So more and more occupations. Okay, so I'm paraphrasing here, and all of our lovely members, there's so many of you in here now, it's lovely to see. Please paraphrase this question, okay? So more and more occupations globally, okay? Now, if you don't know synonyms, if you don't know other words, ask Mother Google, ask Father ChatGPT, use a thesaurus. They will be able to help you with synonyms and other words. Okay, so an increasing number of jobs worldwide, more and more occupations globally. All right. No longer require post-secondary education certificates from universities. I'm going to say universities because university is not really a college or other type of trade school, so they are saying universities, so I have to be careful. Post-secondary is maybe not enough. So more and more occupations globally no longer require post-secondary education certificates from universities in their companies. Okay. What do you think is the cause of this trend? What has led to this development? And do you think this is a positive development? And is this beneficial for people and society? Okay. And hopefully everybody's starting to get some ideas as we're reading and paraphrasing. Include examples and explanations from your own experience. Provide evidence from your own background. Okay? So that would be my paraphrase there. Now, members, paying attention is great. Also participate, so do write. I am looking at the chat. I'm looking to see how you're paraphrasing what you're doing. You can catch up. So if you're working on paraphrasing the question while I'm talking about the next topic, that is absolutely okay. All right. These classes are recorded. You can't miss anything because you can go back and watch later as well. Okay. All right. Now, at home when you're studying and even during the actual exam, this should only take you a minute, okay? You should be able to do this fast. So you shouldn't take too long. And when you're paraphrasing, don't worry too much about grammar. You can fix that later when you're writing. Read the question. So reread the question, reread the paraphrase, get a very clear idea of what you are doing here. So IELTS Task 2 writing. An increasing number of jobs worldwide do not regard university degrees as a requirement for employment. What do you think is the cause of this trend, and do you think this is a positive development? Include examples and explanations from your own experience. Here we go. More and more occupations globally no longer require post-secondary education certificates from universities in their companies. What has led to this development, and is this beneficial for people and society? Provide evidence from your own background. Fuang has paraphrased as well. Good job, Fuang. Thumbs up. And here is what Fuang says could be an alternative way to express this idea. So Fuang says, the explosion of careers globally that no longer require high-level academic certifications as an engrossment for a profession. What do you believe is the main roots of this tendency, and do you think this brings beneficial progressment? Okay, watch your word forms, Fuang, but it's good. You're practicing, you're trying. That's how you learn, okay? So the explosion of careers globally is a little bit weird. So I'm going to say the rapid manifestation. It's a tricky one, Fuang, if you're doing it this way. The rapid manifestation of careers globally that no longer not acquire, but need or require. High level here is hyphenated, Fuang. Academic certifications from universities. We need this here to be specific. Otherwise, it's unclear. As an engrossment for professions, as a qualification, if we want to go with a different word here. Qualification for professions. Is apparent. Okay, so we need to finish that sentence. It's an incomplete sentence otherwise. What do you believe is the main roots? What do you believe are, because it's roots is plural, are the main roots of this tendency? And do you think this brings beneficial, and do you think this progress is beneficial? That is the correct way, Fuang, to express your paraphrase. And that's how we learn. Fuang paraphrased it and I corrected it, and now you know. Okay, so let's read that from the top, Fuang. The rapid manifestation of careers globally that no longer need high-level academic certifications from universities as qualifications for professions is apparent. What do you believe are the main roots of this tendency, and do you think this progress is beneficial? Okay. Anahita. Nice. Now we're getting some paraphrasing going. Okay, Anahita says, excuse me, a lot of careers globally do not need a higher education degree in their field. What are the factors that have led to this prevalent practice? And is it a meritorious evolution, social evolution, Let's stop there. Okay. In your opinion, what has led to this? Okay, clarify it using your own knowledge. Okay, it's a little bit more accurate for sure, more natural. Okay, natural language is also important, of course. All right, so a lot of careers globally do not need a higher education degree in their field. What are the factors that have led to this prevalent practice, and is it a meritorious social evolution? In your opinion, what has led to this? Clarify it using your own knowledge. All right, better. Okay, so let's get some ideas. First of all, let's identify the topic here. What is the topic of this question? Everybody watching, members and all viewers, when you're doing task 2, it's extremely important that you clearly identify the topic, not passively, like, oh, I think I know what they're talking about, but actively. Okay, one of the most common mistakes in task 2 writing, why many students get low scores, is because they misidentify the topic and they write about the wrong ideas. It might be kind of close, it might be way off, but it's not the right idea. so it gets a low score because it's off topic and your task completion mark is very, very low. In this case, what is the topic? Anna says education and employment. I think we can do better, and I think we can be more specific. Okay, when you're thinking about the topic, you need to think, what are we discussing? Okay, and for that, you have to look at the original question. So an increasing number of jobs worldwide do not regard university degrees as requirement for employment. What do you think is the cause of this trend? And do you think this is a positive development? Okay. Epsilinator says, why formal education is not always necessary for employment. Epsilinator, that's a question. That's not a topic. A topic should not be a question mark. Okay, it should be a statement. Fuang says, careers unrelated to university so careers unrelated to university degrees, right? Anahita says the unnecessary of university degrees in employment. Yeah, so Anahita, let's simplify that. I think Anahita is the closest. And see why and how it's so important, everybody, that you identify the topic. So I would say the utility of university degrees in modern day employment. Okay, so it's a bit of a more complex topic, right? But as long as you know what you're talking about, utility means the usefulness. Okay, so the value is another way that you could say it. All right, so the topic is the utility of university degrees in modern day employment. Would everybody agree with me that this is the topic? This is what we're talking about. Okay, and I think when we identify the correct topic, then most people will say, oh yeah, no, I can see that now. I can see that that's what we're discussing. Okay. Everybody agrees? So it's about the value of university degrees in modern day employment. That's what we're talking about, okay? Or the lack of, right? We could say that as well. So the lack of value. Okay, and the controlling ideas. So the controlling ideas are specifically in relation to the topic, right? So what about this topic? So the controlling ideas here is the reasons for the lack of value to university degrees in employment, and of course good or bad. All right, that's the controlling idea. Okay, so here we have to ask ourselves what, why, how, right? So let's start with a basic question here. And questions are the key to good writing, okay? When a person can ask the right questions on a topic like this and answer them logically, and this is where logos, pathos, ethos that we spoke about earlier starts to come into play, then we're able to write a really good essay. We're able to convince the audience. We're able to use good vocabulary. We're able to use good grammar. So content is king. If you're in the IELTS exam, you want to get a 6.57, 7.5, you have to have good content. You can't just simply be writing a grade 10 or a grade 9 level essay, especially not if it has mistakes. Then it will get a low band score, like a band 5, 5.5. Okay, so you have to have good writing here. So you have to think about questions first. And here the question is, what do you think? What's the first question that I would ask myself here as an intelligent author that's understanding this question correctly? Again, for those people joining in while everybody thinks of the question, here, the task 2 is an increasing number of jobs worldwide do not regard university degrees as a requirement for employment. This was a big situation, everybody. I'm not sure if you heard about this. Maybe you did, maybe you didn't. In 2023, this year, one of the interesting global developments was that half the jobs in the world today did not consider university degrees as critical or important for employment. And this was new. This is a big change in society. I'm not sure if any of you saw the news on this or read about this, but it was quite a big development. And I myself know about this. In my company, we didn't consider university degrees nearly as much as we did in the past. So here Fuang is saying, well, we have to ask, what is the utility of a university degree? Yeah, I think that's a good way to ask, Fuang. We could also just say, what is the purpose of a university degree, or what is the utility? What is a university degree? Is the easiest way. Okay. So what is it? It's a certificate that shows a person has attended a number of classes over the course of a number of years in a specific institution, learning on a niche subject. Okay, so specific field, right? So it's a piece of paper that says, hey, this person went to that school for 4 years. They learned this subject in these courses, right? Okay, and why? Why is this important? Let's just go with that, right? So these are the kind of questions that should be going through your head as you're developing your ideas for your task 2. So why is it important? Why is that necessary? Okay, so they have learned some unique skills from experts. That's the obvious, right? So when you have a university degree, we know that, okay, you probably learned some special skills or techniques, theories from some very smart people in that field. That's great. Okay, why else though? Any other reason why a university degree is important other than you learn some specific skills in a specific field? Okay. And then, of course, the how. The students attend regular classes, learn from professors, leading experts in the field, collaborate with peers, conduct research, right? So that's how that happens. Okay, Mal, very good, says able to complete tasks, manage time, right? Put in much effort, perform under pressure, right? Exams. So that's the whys, right? So, okay, good. Now we're thinking on this topic, right? And in order to get those high band scores in the IELTS, this is exactly what you have to do in your exam. You have to engage the test, engage the content, engage the information, okay? All right, maybe use high-level critical thinking. Okay, so however, the value of this has decreased. So the value of having all of this that has decreased. Now, logically, we're like, why? So let's go to the controlling ideas. So why have these university degrees lost their value for many jobs? What do you think? What do you think are reasons why these university jobs, or sorry, these jobs have lost or no longer require university degrees? Epsilonator says lots of unrelated subjects in universities. I'll come back to that, okay, because that's the negative. All right. Miles says because of the pandemic. Okay. All right, Karam, very nice. There's some good critical thinking going on there. Technology has given access to better training, unique information. Okay. All right. Miles says students were not able or willing to continue their education because of the pandemic. Yes, but it doesn't necessarily mean that in itself. It's a good thought, Mal, and I think you can write about that. Okay, Anna says there's greater emphasis on practical skills. Okay. Epsilonator says lots. So, okay, we're getting lots. So, good ideas. Okay, many people have, or many people cannot afford education. All right, and one that comes to my mind from what I have seen in my life is many universities lack, many university degrees lack credibility. Okay. I think in my generation, this happened over the course of the last 20 or 30 years, where it's kind of like, it seems like a lot of people can now just buy a university degree without actually doing the work. There seems to be a lot of these kind of almost fake universities out there, and it's very difficult for companies or for employers to figure out, you know, is this an actual degree? Is this a person who really did some valuable work, or did they just pay somebody good money and it's more or less a fake degree? So we didn't have this so much, I think, 20, 30 years ago as we do now. Would everybody agree with me on that? Maybe I can convince you of that fact as well. So we've got lots of ideas here. Now, in the IELTS, you have only 40 minutes and you write about 300 words. It says minimum 250, but band 8, band 7, band 9 essays, they're usually 300, 320 words. They're a little bit longer, okay? So, if you're thinking really quick and really smart, which is great, like this, and you've got all these ideas now, then you have to limit yourself. You can't write about all of these. 40 minutes is not enough time to write about all of these ideas. So here we have lots of unrelated subjects, okay? I think Anna says greater emphasis on practical skills. So I think this one is basically the same as this one. It's the same kind of idea. But this one is from the positive side. And students, you should always choose the one on the positive side. So a lot of jobs these days require very specific skills. Okay. And I would say greater emphasis on specific practical skills. This is the positive side. Now, of course, we could mention that university degrees often include a lot of unrelated topics, but what we want to focus on here is that many jobs require the applicants to learn specific knowledge, so whether or not they have a university degree doesn't matter for those skills. Does everybody understand what I'm saying there, right? Okay. So that's one for sure. And then the let's choose another one. So we need to pick just a couple. Because of the pandemic. Now, this is interesting, Mal. I agree. I think one of the main causes of this is definitely the pandemic. I think the pandemic led a lot of companies to realize that university degrees are maybe not as valuable as they had previously believed. However, I think, Mal, that this one is a little bit difficult to discuss. So if I were to write a university essay, I would definitely include that because I think it's a big part of it. But for the IELTS, I would not include it. It's too complex. Do you see where I'm going with that, Mom? So explaining to the reader how the pandemic transformed the professional markets globally is a very tricky concept. So I would kind of stay away from that for this one. All right. Technology has given access to better training. So through learning software, etc., companies can now train their employees at relatively low costs and quite effectively. I think that's a good one. Okay, so I definitely think that would be one of my top picks for saying that's kind of the cause of it. Okay, all right. Many people cannot afford education is negative, and I think it's easier and better to stay with the positives. And many university degrees lack credibility. Maybe I'll include that. So I'm going to go with the maybe on that one. Okay. Again, it's negative and it's a maybe. On the IELTS, in 300 words, I believe these 2 points are enough and they're related. We can connect emphasis on specific practical skills and technology giving access to better training methods, therefore making universities in some sense obsolete. Okay. All right. So now we have to think, is this good or is this bad? Okay. Positive or negative? So is it good that jobs or workplaces don't necessarily need university degrees? What do you think and why? Okay. Because of course you're going to have to explain that. Okay. Domenico says, if many jobs do not require university degrees for employment, what about the development of logical reasoning? Domenico, this is where you get to use that concept. So is it a positive or negative development? And why? Okay. What do you think? And these are our 2 paragraphs here. These are the 2 body paragraphs that we're developing. The first body paragraph is going to be the causality. And the second body paragraph is going to be our response to this. Okay? And I can definitely see this in my company as well. Anna says it's positive because it promotes inclusivity by giving individuals with practical skills and experience. Anahita says it's a negative development. Okay. Epsilonator says I agree that this is a positive development. Okay, me as a company owner, I'm gonna side with Anahita on this one. I'm going to say it's a negative development. Okay. So as much as I would love to say that using technology and on-the-job training to learn specific skills, I think that certain abilities like time management and critical thinking, which are highly developed during 4 years of university, is grossly lacking in the workforce because of this. And I truly believe that you might think I'm crazy right now when I say this, but I think one of the big reasons why we're headed towards an economic disaster and a social disaster is because of the lack of time management and critical thinking that's becoming apparent for many employees around the world. Maybe I just have a soft spot or a sore spot for this, but I definitely see that. So the quality of education in universities, I think, has decreased for this as well. So anyway, I don't think it's a good idea. I think universities definitely need to regain their credibility, and jobs need to really think about this beyond just the practical skills of a university degree. So that's my concept there. So now with all of this information, I'm able to create my thesis. Now again, students, as the idiom goes, there's more than one way to skin the cat. Okay, it's kind of a weird idiom, but it is an idiom. There is more than one way to skin the cat. It means there are multiple correct ideas or correct methods or answers. The goal is to be convincing. Okay, so use that logos, pathos, ethos to be convincing. Now, the thesis is the argument sentence. Okay, it's the sentence that tells your reader what your essay is about. Okay, so I'm going to write my thesis based on the planning that we just did. Go ahead and do the same. We'll compare. I'll explain my thesis after. Okay, so all right, there's my thesis. It's a nice long one. Students, you don't have to write your thesis as one sentence. You can write it as 2 sentences if that makes it easier. Just make sure that your thesis is accurate. So if you can't spell a word, like I was having trouble spelling inadequacies, then choose a different word that you can spell. So here I would say negative development due to poor time management and critical thinking. Okay. And I might even change that. All right, so simple. Simple is always better. Okay, you don't have to use big, long, fancy words. So this is my thesis statement here. The main cause of not needing university diplomas for careers are better technology and specific skills. Okay, so better technology specific skills. It's parallel grammar, right? So adjective, noun, adjective, noun. However, I think this is a negative development resulting in poor time management and poor critical thinking among professionals, okay? So here, this shows the reader that my body paragraph 1 is about this, and my body paragraph 2 is about this. Okay, so that's how my essay will look. All right. Okay. Domenico says, let's leave the responsibility to technology to sort out our problems. Yep. In my humble opinion, this is definitely a negative development. Focusing only on acquiring practical skills does not foster the development of critical thinking and logical reasoning. Yes, Domenico, I would agree with you there. Or it's not an effective way, as I've learned. All right, so that's my thesis there, and then now we can write the introductory paragraph. Okay, the introduction has a hook, background, and thesis, and you can learn this structure again on the website in your course. Okay, so when you go to aehelp.com, everybody, definitely log in, join the premium package by clicking the big red button. And then once you are there, then in your course, you see that it tells you that, okay, I hope you can see this. The introduction is kind of like a funnel. It goes from a broad idea, the topic, the hook, right? This is your topic and getting introduced. Okay, and then the background, and then the thesis. Excuse me. So funnels like that, okay, and it tells you what to do for each of those. All right, so the hook just uses the topic. Okay, so the hook here, and we talked about what the topic is. This is why it's important to know what the topic is. The topic is the utility of university degrees in modern day employment. I can actually use exactly that for my hook. The utility of university degrees in modern day employment are rapidly losing value. Okay. Or I'm going to make it even better, are rapidly losing their competitive edge. How about that? That's a good hook. Okay. Go in and write the hook, students. I love seeing your writing. Okay. So here, the utility of university degrees in modern day employment are rapidly losing their competitive edge. And when you have the topic, you can just nice and fast put together the hook. So when some people might be thinking, well, if I'm thinking about all these ideas, Adrian, I'm going to run out of time. I can't write a good essay. That's not true. When you're thinking correctly, then all of these ideas, all of these sentences, like the paraphrased question, identifying the topic, the controlling idea, writing down the what, why, how, those all actually become pieces of your essay. Okay, so students, that's really, really important to remember. So all of this planning, okay, below is not a waste of time. These become the pieces of your high band essay. Okay, so as you just saw, I used the topic for the hook. Okay. All right, all right. Let's see what Anahita had here for the hook. Okay, Anahita writes, even without the need of post-secondary degrees, the unemployment has increased. Anahita, this is a band 3 hook. Why? Okay, so this would score very, very low. The examiner would kind of go like this. Okay. Anna says, these days the value of university degrees has decreased because of the tendency of employment without education diplomas. This would be like a band 5 hook, Anna. Okay, I'll explain that in a moment. Epsilonator, and don't be shy. Just because I'm criticizing doesn't mean, you know, don't do it. Do it, okay? It's great. Anahita, I love how you gave that a shot, and Anna and Epsilonator as well. Okay, Epsilonator says over time there has been a marked increase in the prevalence of jobs that do not require a university degree. Good. That's a band 8. No mistake, band 9. Okay. Nice vocabulary, right on topic. Very clear introduction. Very good hook. Okay. Just not over time. Over time. Okay. Don't make an awkward mistake like that right at the start, because you're going to drop a point right away. Okay. All right. I'll explain. Anahita, this is off topic. The topic seems to be unemployment. There's nothing here about unemployment. If you do this, Anahita, the examiner is going to think that you tried to memorize information about unemployment, and any question that is about jobs or careers, you're going to write an essay about unemployment that you kind of half memorized before your IELTS exam. It's off topic. Your task completion mark will be very, very low for this, okay? Anna, these days the value of university degrees has decreased because of is an argument. You should avoid introducing an argument in the hook. Okay? And then because of the tendency of employment without education diplomas, this is flawed logic. It's unclear. It's confusing. Okay, so you kind of introduce the topic, but I'm not exactly sure what you're stating here. These days, the value of universities degrees has decreased because of the tendency of employment without education diplomas. I kind of get it, but where are we going with this, right? It's very vague. I'm not really excited or enticed into too much reading. So Epsilonator says, over time, there has been a marked increase in the prevalence of jobs that do not require a university degree. That's a band 9 because it's just a very clear expression of the topic. This is what's going to be discussed, and it catches me kind of surprising. Like, oh, really? It's decreasing? I thought it was always increasing, but now it's decreasing, right? And so, there we go. All right, so that's the hook. Now comes the background. Background is the definitions, right? And the importance of the question. Okay, so again, for a detailed explanation of this, take a look at your course, okay? Hook, background, thesis, all right? So again, aehelp.com, everybody. Okay. All right. So the background comes from your what, why, hows, right? So what is a university degree, right? Here, what is a university degree? And this is what I said. This is useful. So a certificate that shows a person has attended a number of classes over the course of a number of years in a specific institution, learning a niche subject. So here, watch this. I'm going to copy paste this into my introduction here and then just adjust it a little bit. So here's the hook. Again, the utility of university degrees in modern day employment are rapidly losing their competitive edge. Although a diploma shows that a person has attended a number of classes over the course of a number of years in a specific institution, learning a niche subject, many companies no longer consider this valuable for many positions. And this has a major impact on social development. Okay? So there's the background, the definition with some importance, right? It has a major impact. Obviously, if many jobs no longer need university degrees, that's going to reshape society in many ways. So all I did here was just take that definition, right, for the background. And now all I do for the rest of it is take my thesis. Okay, so with good planning, you basically have your introduction. Okay, does everybody see that? Okay. So here we go. Let me read the introduction, and you're like, what? He just literally pasted that together from his planning. And in the computer-based exam, everybody, you can actually do it this way because, of course, you can delete, you can move, you can cut, copy, paste. So in the computer-based exam, you can actually do what I just did. You can copy, paste it all together, and then just delete your planning parts. Once you're done the essay, right? Just make sure you finish the essay first. So in the computer-based IELTS exam, you can do what I just did. Plan, copy and paste using the needed parts, and at the end, just remove any unnecessary text from the field and submit the essay. Review and submit the essay. Welcome back, Maya. I see you just hopped in. Great. Okay, so here's the introduction. The utility of university degrees in modern day employment are rapidly losing their competitive edge. Although a diploma shows that a person has attended a number of classes over the course of a number of years in a specific institution, learning a niche subject, many companies no longer consider this valuable for certain positions. And this has a major impact on social development. The main cause of not needing university certificates, just changing a couple words to read better, for jobs are better technology and specific skills. However, I think this is a negative development resulting in poor time management and critical thinking among professionals. Okay, now I'm ready for body paragraph 1. Okay, and body paragraph 1 is going to focus on better technology and specific skills. Okay, which is of course the cause of this, the cause of why we no longer need university degrees for many jobs. Okay, All right. Everybody following me so far? Is this clear, everyone? I know sometimes I get into these kind of modes and I'm moving along faster, and sometimes I'm afraid I start losing your attention or losing your understanding. Is everybody with me still? Are you following through? Everybody's good? If I've lost you, just let me know, students. If ever you feel like I'm going too fast or you're like, what is he talking about? Just let me know, okay? Fuang says all is good, right, Fuang? Yes, sir. Mal says, yep. Maya says, yeah, we're on the same page. Okay, if I'm going too slow, tell me. Also, if you're like, oh, he's just repeating the same idea over and over and it's too slow for me, let me know. It gives me an ability to balance. Feedback is always good, especially for these members chat classes. We're a smaller group here, so it's good for me to, know what you're thinking, right? Give me feedback. So body paragraph 1 is the causes, better technology, and specific skills. Okay, so a couple of the main reasons that employers do not look as much for diplomas is the recent development in technology, which not only enables companies to train their staff without third-party assistance, like post-secondary institutions, but also leads to the demand of highly specialized skills that are often not taught in universities. Okay, so again, this is a complex topic sentence I wrote here in a longer sentence. Again, if you're having difficulty now in these classes, I highly recommend practicing some of these complex sentences. But if you're having difficulty with this size of a sentence, just break it into 2 sentences. Simplify the sentences. Most ideas that can be said in one complex sentence can be said in several easier, simpler sentences as well. Okay, so a couple of the main reasons that employers do not look as much for diplomas is the recent development in technology, which not only enables companies to train their staff without third-party assistance, like post-secondary institutions, but also lead to the demand of highly specialized skills that are often not taught in universities. Okay, so advanced, now comes the explanation. Okay, advanced learning management systems have been developed by companies to onboard new staff and train them in niche fields such as graphic design, using, or let's say, I'm going to take one from my life, such as video editing, using DaVinci Resolve editing software. Okay. All right. So I'm sure a lot of you have seen this, right? So again, just take a page out of your life or out of the life of someone you know. A lot of us have seen this where we see people going into a job, and in the first few months they are given a piece of software and they say, go through this training suite, go through all of the materials, complete the certification, and then you're ready to get into some projects. Okay, so advanced learning management systems, LMS, have been developed by companies to onboard new staff and train them in niche fields such as video editing using DaVinci Resolve editing software, or some other software that you want to include. Okay, all right. Miles says, pace is good. That's great. Domenico says, body. This evolution challenges conventional wisdom that deems a degree as an essential ticket to professional success, giving rise to questions about the evolving criteria for career advancement and the cultivation of social and critical thinking skills. Domenico, that's the background. Really good. That's a solid Band 9 background there. That's very, very good. I like it. Makes me want to read more, Domenico. Good writing. Okay. That's excellent. Domenico, are these writing classes useful for your graduate studies? I know you're doing your PhD right now in marine biology, and I'm guessing that you're doing a lot of writing. Are you finding these classes useful? Are you seeing a lot of these concepts that I'm teaching in these classes applicable to your master's, or sorry, to your PhD? To your writing that you're doing there? I'm curious. If not, if you're like, no, my professor completely disagrees with you, let me know, right? I need to know that. So let me know. But yeah, that background for me anyway is excellent. That's the right kind of thinking. So, all right. Domenico says, definitely yes. Good, good. Happy to hear it. Okay. All right. Okay, now an example, right? All right, now I introduced the first person voice in my thesis, I. So I think. So I'm going to continue with this first person voice. Okay, again, if you're not familiar with voices of the author, like first, second, third person, then make sure to become familiar with that. It's a critical part. Okay. Anahita Amal, Anna, Redexar, Epsilonator, keep writing. Okay, you do not need to be in the same place in the essay as me if you're writing the background like Domenico just did, or if you're writing the hook for the introduction, that's still fine. Just indicate what you're writing. And then I'll reflect. I'll let you know what I think about that, okay? What's most important is that you practice your writing, okay? All right, so again, in the IELTS, your body paragraph should be topic sentence, explanation, and example. Indeed, the content production company that I had just applied for did not require post-secondary certificates, only the willingness to complete a 100-hour DaVinci Resolve online course. Okay. In order to become a production line editor, video editor. Okay, so I am actually taking examples from my own life here. Not the exact same, but just a little bit adjusted. So review the body paragraph. A couple of the main reasons that employers do not look as much for diplomas in the recent development in technology, which not only enables companies to train their staff without third-party assistance like post-secondary institutions, but also lead to the demand of highly specialized skills that are often not taught in universities. Advanced Learning Management Systems, LMS, have been developed by companies to onboard new staff and train them in niche fields such as video editing using DaVinci Resolve editing software. Indeed, the content production company that I had just applied for did not require post-secondary certificates, only the willingness to complete a 100-hour DaVinci Resolve online certification course in order to become a production line video editor. Okay. All right. Nevertheless, this lack of higher education qualification comes with dire consequences. By the way, if you don't know a word that I'm using, ask me. I will gladly define it for you. Okay. So this is my connecting or joining sentence here. And it helps me to lead into the next body paragraph. Here it's body paragraph 2. So body paragraph 2, of course, comes from the second half of my thesis statement in the introduction, which is, I think this is a negative development resulting in poor time management and critical thinking among professionals. Okay. So body paragraph 2 will be about negative development, bad time management, critical thinking. So that's what I write about here. Okay, and when you're practicing at home, definitely write it out like this, plan it out like this, go through all of these steps so that when you go to your IELTS exam and when you're doing this, you're going to be much faster. By the way, as soon as you pass the IELTS and you get into university, you will have to write a lot of papers that are like this. And you will have to write them relatively fast. Domenico, are you writing papers kind of like this on various topics of marine biology, like the causes and solutions to the disappearing coral reefs, for instance? Or is it more just data crunching in that PhD program? Or do you actually have to write small reports and short papers that are kind... That was fast. Domenico's like every day. Right? Yeah, okay. No, I remember that. I had, when I was going through my my storage, I found the boxes of essays from my psychology degree, and I was like, wow, that's like the box. I think like an average of 2 to 3 essays per day for 5 years. There were literally boxes like that stacked full of essays, hundreds of essays. It was, I didn't even realize I wrote that many essays in university for my degree. Yeah, lots of them. For sure. Okay, so the negative development, bad time management, and critical thinking. Although there is less need for university certification for employment, the negative impact or the deficits of this trend must not be overlooked. Namely, universities instill a high degree of critical thinking and time management into graduates, which cannot be attained through quick workshops and software learning. It requires years of training and feedback through structured education to develop the analytical and intuitive thought patterns which lead to innovative breakthroughs. I believe companies must consider the long-term benefits of such skills. Okay, now this last part here, I'm probably going to actually save for the conclusion. Instead of that, I'm going to include an example here. Okay. So, even now, most of the major advancements in AI technology and 3D printing are achieved by professionals who hold a graduate, master's, and doctorate diploma. Okay. So that's going to be my example there. All right, so let's read body 2. Although there is less need for university certification for employment, the deficits of this trend must not be overlooked. Namely, universities instill a high degree of critical thinking and time management into graduates, which cannot be attained through quick workshops and software learning. It requires years of training and feedback through structured education to develop the analytical, intuitive thought patterns which lead to innovative breakthroughs. Even now, most of the major advancements in remote surgery, I'm going to add another one just for fun, remote surgery, AI technology, and 3D printing are achieved by professionals who hold a graduate, master's, and doctorate diploma. Okay. Epsilonator, they can be used interchangeably. Diploma is usually 2 years, degree is 4 years. Good question, right? So I told you I'm paying attention to your questions. Okay, so although a diploma and degree can be used interchangeably, often a diploma, it goes, yeah, okay, I'm going to go. Often a diploma refers to a 2-year program, and a degree refers to a 4-year program. And that's why we say like a master's degree and a PhD degree, right? Doctorate degree. Okay. It goes like this: certificate, diploma, degree. Okay, does that make sense? So generally speaking, that's how you should think about it. A certificate can be even just a couple of days, and then a diploma is anywhere from 6 months to a couple of years, and then a degree is anywhere from 4 to 7 years. So certificate can be like 1 day. Let me do it like this. So it can be like 1 day but we do use them interchangeably, which is kind of confusing. 1 day to few weeks. Okay. Diploma, 6 months to a couple of years. Generally, this is how we think about it. Okay. 2 to 7 years. Or sorry, 4 to 7 years. Okay. That's often how we consider these. That makes sense? Okay. All right. Hopefully that it's not always clear for people. So if they don't clearly understand, then clarify for them what you're talking about. But that's just kind of the way to think about it. Okay. So now the conclusion. All right. The conclusion has the points, has the argument, strengthened, okay, and has a take-home message. All right. So in conclusion, now, as tempted as you might be, and Mal, I'm speaking to you here specifically too, as tempted as you might be to say in conclusion, especially since the COVID pandemic, companies, is that okay to do? So, like, should I include something like especially since the COVID pandemic in the conclusion? Is that a good idea? No. Okay. Your conclusion should never introduce a new idea. It's very confusing. It's not clearly explained in the essay, so even if it may be true, do not do it. Okay. So don't introduce a new topic in the conclusion. That is a big no-no in professional writing. Okay. So in conclusion, unique skill sets and the technology to teach these has led to a decrease in the demand for university studies in job qualifications. However, this has also resulted in less creative thinking and poor time management among employees. I believe it is critical for companies to realize the value of post-secondary certifications as more than just the practical skills needed for a position. That's my take-home message. So that's the conclusion. In conclusion, unique skill sets and the technology to teach these has led to a decrease in the demand for university studies in job qualifications. However, this has also resulted in less creative thinking and poor time management among employees. I believe it is critical for companies to realize the value of post-secondary certifications as more than just the practical skills needed for a position. Okay. So there is my essay. I will post this essay on our YouTube community posts. And students, I'm going to come back in 30 minutes and we'll do a listening exam together. That will be a subscribers chat class, everybody. So make sure to subscribe to the channel and visit aehelp.com for a ton more material on the writing section and gieltshelp.com for general IELTS. These are our websites that power these live classes. So go there, check them out, sign up for the premium version of our course, and you'll get lots of sample essays. I showed you some of the parts of the course today in the class. Again, the home page for the websites look like this, and you can click that big red button there above my head to join the premium version. The website again is aehelp.com. You are most welcome, Epsilionator. Have an awesome rest of the day. Domenico, students, do come back for the listening class that's coming up in just a little bit here. General IELTS students, gieltshelp.com. You can always send us your essays for free band score estimates as well. I sometimes forget to say that. All right, everybody, short break, 30 minutes, and then we're back with listening. I'm Adrian. I'm signing out from beautiful Victoria, British Columbia, Canada. Back soon with listening. Bye for the moment.